I was told I was being dispatched to George to come and drive the new Suzuki Vitara, I was genuinely excited because I've been looking forward to this car ever since last year when the company announced they were going to release it. And then I started thinking about my last two Suzuki experiences. First there was the Splash with its disappointing drive, and then there was the Ertiga with its horrendous interior. It seemed to be the start of a downhill trend because before those two, I would have quite confidently said that Suzuki makes very good cars. That's backed up by a few long-term test cars and once-off drives where the impression was generally very positive. This then is a bit of an acid test because the Vitara is the newest Suzuki on the market and at the same time it's the latest version of what is a groundbreaking nameplate. There is a massive sales battle going on in the crossover/compact SUV segment, and it is arguably the fastest growing segment on the market. Ask any car nerd and they'll tell you one of the first cars to kick off that whole battle was the Nissan Qashqai. Ask anyone from Suzuki and they'll tell you that in fact they were the first with the original Vitara back in 1988. It was also a proper off-road machine which packed a low-range gearbox, and it was unlike anything else on the market. And while the Nissan Qashqai will shout about the fact that it can offer you a 7-seat version, the Grand Vitara had that particular feature covered back in 2001. So with the weight of some pretty impressive history on their shoulders, they designed this. The new Vitara is brand new from the rubber to the roof rails, inside and out. There's not a lot too surprising about it, but it is a lot less cutesy than we're used to from the company, and it is a very good looking machine. And the two-tone roof certainly gives it the more upmarket appeal they're going for. The only real carryover from the old Vitara can be seen in the profile, which is still more squared off than sleek. Our top-of-the-range GLX test car gets LED running lights and a chrome grille as standard. Suzuki are going big on personalization for the Vitara, which means you can opt for different shades for the roof, as well as some option packs which include extra plastic that adds to the cosmetics. The inside of the new Vitara is a huge step up over the old one. Besides the good standard kit, the design is now bang up to date and a very nice place in which to spend some time. The personalization on the outside can be extended to the interior, where things like the dashboard strip and the air vent surrounds can be replaced with more colourful choices. Space is decent and a split-level boot means some extra convenience. As far as power goes, the update isn't quite as up-to-date with the competition though. We're so used to turbo motors in small cars these days that when we find out there's a small car with a 1.6 litre naturally aspirated motor, we raise a bit of an eyebrow. But that's what we have in here, and it better be good because it is the only engine option in the new Vitara lineup. There is the choice of either a 6-speed automatic or a 5-speed manual gearbox, which is what we're driving. The whole thing doesn't like to be driven with too much of a heavy right foot, but on the other hand, it does have good mid-range punch. But on the other hand, it does have the advantage at the moment of being at sea level. There's no doubt it'll feel the power loss at higher altitudes, and when it does, it'll sadly lose out to its turbo-powered competition, things like the Opel Mokka and the Nissan Juke. The gearing can feel a little long if you don't keep things in the power band, but once you're up and running, its 86 kilowatts and 151 newton meters feel good enough. But the other side to the drive is quite surprising. If there's one standout element of the new Vitara, it's the handling. The whole package has that typically solid Suzuki engineering feel to it, but now they've added good on-road comfort matched to some surprising ability when you really start pressing on. There's no steering feel to speak of, but overall it is a very impressive setup. The chassis' ability outdoes what the engine can deliver, and it does it with such ease that you find yourself pushing the Vitara without even thinking about it. And while it's delivering the sure-footed drive, it keeps things comfortable and under control. But then again, I guess grip has always been part of this car's makeup. The Vitara is famous for its off-road ability, but this latest generation has lost a little bit of that talent. It's still got decent clearances, but there are only some models available with Suzuki's AllGrip all-wheel drive system. On the bit of dirt driving we've done, the car has coped well, with the torque being put down well and a general sense that it would be confident on some challenging dirt. The AllGrip system is able to transfer power between the front and rear axles according to the grip demands, and it also features a selectable off-road mode. There's no low-range equipped Vitara. That particular bit of kit is reserved for the Grand Vitara, the new version of which is still in the pipeline. My experiences with Suzukis over the past few years have been that they're all good in some ways, but not quite spot on. For example, the Alto was a lot of fun to drive, but very basic. The Grand Vitara was very capable, but also very rough around the edges. Then there's the Jimny. Loads of character, but pretty outdated when it comes to its approach to, well, everything. The Vitara is the first Suzuki I've driven that is everything it needs to be. Good looks, good spec, good drive, and the right amount of off-road ability that you expect in a car like this. I still don't think the 1600 motor will be the most stellar thing on the reef, but if this is the kind of product that Suzuki is designing for the future, we have some things to look forward to. The only engine option in the Vitara lineup is the 1.6 petrol, which delivers an adequate drive but will most likely struggle at altitude. It packs decent looks with a comfortable interior, good space, and its on-road handling is particularly impressive. Its output may not stack up against the turbo competition, but it does offer all-wheel drive and a good measure of off-road ability.